She married a human for peace. Then he unleashed a strength no alien had ever seen. The lights of the metropolis shimmered like a constellation, even from hundreds of kilometers above the Earth's surface. She adjusted her ceremonial robe, feeling the weight of both tradition and duty pressing on her shoulders. Today was not just a normal day. It was the day she would marry a human to secure peace between her people and Earth. For generations, the Zorathians had been the most advanced species in their sector of the galaxy. Their ships moved faster than light, their minds could calculate probabilities with impossible precision, and their diplomacy had kept interstellar wars to a minimum. Yet here she was, about to wed a species that many of her people considered fragile and unpredictable. Humans had survived harsh planetary conditions and shown courage in countless small ways, but they were nothing compared to the power and intellect of the Zorathians. Liara's father, Emperor Thalen, had explained the mission countless times. "This marriage will solidify peace," he had said in his deep, resonant voice. "Your union with Captain Aiden Cross will prove that humans can be trusted, that they are capable of more than we once believed. You are the bridge between two worlds." Liara bowed slightly before her reflection in the glass. She admired her own calm posture, but inside she felt a nervous flutter. She was about to meet Aiden Cross for the first time. Her people had provided detailed reports on him. A human male in his early 30s, skilled in piloting and diplomacy, known for his quick thinking in emergencies. Yet no report, no data, could truly capture the essence of a living being. The airlock hissed behind her, and a team of Zorathian attendants guided her down to the docking bay. Liara moved gracefully, as if gliding, her robes trailing slightly behind her. She passed rows of Earth vehicles and humans moving with loud, energetic motions. Her sharp eyes noted everything, the way humans interacted, the rapid pace of their communication, the creativity in their designs. They were messy, chaotic, and yet undeniably alive. Aiden Cross waited at the center of the docking bay just outside his spacecraft. He was tall with broad shoulders, but his presence was calm rather than intimidating. His brown hair was slightly tousled, and his eyes had a warm, steady look that made Liara feel unexpectedly reassured. He wore the ceremonial suit provided by Earth authorities, but there was a casual confidence about him, the way he stood with his hands behind his back, watching her approach without a hint of nervousness. Liara felt her heartbeat quicken. She had expected anxiety, perhaps even fear, but instead she felt curiosity. He was different from what she had imagined. His movements were precise, but his expression hinted at humor and intelligence. He was not the fragile human many Zorathians had described. "Princess Liara," Aiden said, bowing slightly in respect, but his smile was warm. "It's an honor to meet you." Liara inclined her head. "Captain Aiden Cross," she replied in her clear, melodic voice. "The honor is mine. I trust your journey here was uneventful." Aiden nodded. "Smooth, your people are thorough. I've never seen docking procedures like this. Very impressive." Liara tilted her head slightly, observing him. "Humans are adaptable," she said carefully. "Your species has survived against odds that would destroy many others." Aiden chuckled. "We like to think we're good at finding solutions, even if the odds are stacked against us. It seems your people value precision and planning. I admire that." The two shared a brief silence, each studying the other. For Liara, it was a strange feeling. She was trained to be analytical, to judge behavior with perfect logic. Yet she found herself intrigued by this human. There was something unpredictable about him, something she could not calculate. Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of the Peace Council representatives. Humans and Zorathians from both sides had gathered to witness the first moments of this historic meeting. Liara could see some Zorathians exchanging skeptical glances, their expressions saying, "Why would our princess need to marry a human?" Humans, meanwhile, whispered among themselves, uncertain of what to expect from their alien guest. Aiden gestured toward the council chamber. "Shall we?" he asked. Liara nodded. Together they walked down the wide corridors of the spaceport. The walls shimmered with displays of Earth and Zorathian achievements. Liara's eyes flicked over the data panels, maps of interstellar routes, historical records, energy simulations, and she noticed Aiden reading them with interest. He asked questions, not out of ignorance but curiosity. He wanted to understand. Inside the council chamber, the ceremony officials were preparing for the formal introductions. Liara's mind wandered briefly to her own people's expectations. She was supposed to represent Zorathian superiority, to show that humans could be useful allies. But something in her chest told her that Aiden was more than an ally, he could be something extraordinary. The ceremony began with a series of formal speeches. Human and Zorathian leaders exchanged words about cooperation, peace, and shared prosperity. Liara listened, nodding politely, but her attention kept drifting to Aiden. He was calm, listening intently, occasionally jotting notes. Not once did he fidget or show discomfort. His presence was steady, grounded, and unlike anything she had seen in humans before. When it was their turn to speak, Liara felt a wave of nerves. She cleared her throat and stepped forward. "Today," she began, her voice echoing softly in the chamber, "we stand at the beginning of a new chapter. The Zorathians and humans have long observed each other from afar, learning, calculating, imagining. Today, we choose collaboration over conflict, trust over suspicion. I am honored to represent my people in this historic alliance." Aiden followed, his own speech brief but heartfelt. "We humans have always faced challenges that seemed impossible. We've learned to adapt, to survive, to grow stronger through cooperation. I am honored to join in this alliance and to build a future where both our species can thrive together." The council members nodded, impressed by the sincerity of their words. Liara felt a small spark of admiration for Aiden, not just for his speech, but for his quiet strength. After the formal introductions, the council members retired to allow Liara and Aiden a moment alone. They walked to a small observation room overlooking the city. The sky was darkening, and the lights of Earth twinkled like stars below. "This city," Aiden said, leaning on the railing, "it's amazing, so alive, so full of energy." Liara smiled faintly. "It is. Humans have a way of creating life even in the harshest conditions. I find it inspiring." Aiden glanced at her, a subtle smile on his lips. "You don't seem like the type to be easily impressed." Liara laughed softly. "I am not, but even I can see value where it exists." They stood in companionable silence for a few moments, watching the lights. Liara felt something shift inside her. This human whom she had been sent to marry for political reasons was more than she expected. There was courage, intelligence, and a spark of something she could not name. Suddenly, an alarm sounded in the distance. Lights flashed across the observation deck. Aiden straightened immediately, his eyes sharp. "What's happening?" Liara frowned at the display panel. "It seems to be a minor energy fluctuation in the docking bay, nothing severe." Aiden nodded, but his expression was serious. "Let's check it out." Humans have a saying, "Better safe than sorry." They hurried back to the docking bay, Liara amazed at how quickly Aiden analyzed the situation. He coordinated the personnel calmly, suggesting adjustments to stabilize the energy field. Liara watched him work, realizing that humans might not have the technological superiority of Zorathians, but they had something else: ingenuity, intuition, and the ability to act decisively under pressure. By the time the energy field stabilized, Liara's mind was racing. She had been sent to Earth to marry a human for peace, but now she wondered if her people had underestimated humans entirely. Aiden Cross was not just a man, he was a force she could not yet understand. And perhaps, she thought quietly, that was exactly what her people needed. As the night fell over the city, Liara and Aiden stood together, watching the lights flicker below. They did not speak much, but a silent understanding passed between them. This marriage would be more than a political arrangement. It might be the beginning of something far greater. And in that moment, neither of them realized just how extraordinary the human before her truly was. The morning sun reflected off the polished metal of the spaceport, painting streaks of gold across the landing bays. Princess Liara awoke early, her mind restless with thoughts of Captain Aiden Cross. She had expected their marriage to be purely ceremonial, a duty to fulfill for the sake of peace. Yet, after witnessing his calm in a moment of potential danger, she realized there was more to this human than she could have imagined. She dressed in her ceremonial attire again, this time a lighter, flowing outfit suitable for formal meetings rather than the wedding itself. The robes shimmered with a faint, bioluminescent glow, Zorathian craftsmanship at its finest. Even so, her attention was not on the attire. Her thoughts were on Aiden. Down in the docking bay, Aiden was already busy. The humans under his command moved with efficiency, but their procedures were rough compared to the perfection Liara was accustomed to. Yet, he moved among them with ease, guiding, correcting, and inspiring them without ever raising his voice. Liara watched from above, intrigued. She descended via the observation lift, feeling the soft hum of the anti-gravity field beneath her feet. When she reached the floor, Aiden noticed her immediately. His smile was calm, familiar, and entirely genuine. "Good morning, Princess Liara," he said. "Sleep well." "Restful enough," she replied, "though my thoughts are unsettled." Aiden's eyes narrowed slightly, as if he understood more than her words revealed. "Worried about the council, or perhaps about me?" Liara blinked in surprise. "Both, perhaps. But I admit, I am most unsettled by the mystery you carry. Humans often surprise me, but you are beyond ordinary." Aiden chuckled softly, brushing a strand of hair from his forehead. "I'm just a man, Princess, no more, no less." Liara studied him carefully. There was a humility in his words, yet the way he carried himself, the way he thought quickly and acted decisively, suggested something far deeper. She had always been trained to see the strengths and weaknesses of others immediately. And yet she could not see all of Aiden's strength. Some part of it remained hidden, even to her. Their first meeting after the council was scheduled to inspect the human engineering facilities. The spaceport had been designed with both human and alien technology, a hybrid of practicality and innovation. Liara followed Aiden through long corridors filled with glowing panels and humming machinery. "Here," Aiden said, pointing toward a complex energy relay. "We're still testing the new fusion modules. Some fluctuations occur, but nothing dangerous. I want to show you how we handle them." Liara raised an eyebrow. "Handle them? By what method? Zorathian systems would automatically compensate for any fluctuation." "True," Aiden said, "but humans improvise when systems fail. We rely on observation, intuition, and quick adjustments. Sometimes it works better than perfection." Liara watched as Aiden stepped toward the module, placing his hands over the control panels. He did not just monitor, he interacted with the system, understanding it instinctively. Within minutes, the fluctuations stabilized. Liara felt a growing respect for him. He was not just capable, he was extraordinary in a way that went beyond technology or logic. As they moved through the facility, Liara noticed a group of Zorathian observers murmuring among themselves. Some faces showed skepticism, others doubt, but a few were curious. Aiden seemed unaware of, or perhaps unconcerned by, their scrutiny. He focused entirely on the task, his confidence never faltering. Later, they entered a training simulation room. It was designed to test human and alien coordination in zero-gravity maneuvers, a place where most humans struggled to keep pace with Zorathians. Liara expected him to falter, to reveal the weaknesses of his species. Instead, Aiden moved fluidly, adapting to changes in gravity and responding faster than anyone anticipated. "Remarkable," Liara said quietly, impressed. "How do you do this?" Aiden shrugged. "Practice, observation, and a willingness to fail and try again. Humans survive by learning quickly from mistakes." Liara smiled faintly. She had always valued precision and flawless execution, yet here was a human whose strength was not perfection, but adaptability. It was a different kind of brilliance, one that no simulation could fully predict. As the day continued, Liara noticed subtle ways in which Aiden's presence influenced those around him. Humans grew more confident under his guidance, while Zorathians, despite themselves, began to take note of his ingenuity. In one corner, a young Zorathian engineer whispered to a colleague, "I never thought a human could think like this. It's inspiring." Liara pondered this quietly. Could it be that humans had evolved differently, not in intellect alone, but in ways that combined instinct, creativity, and courage? The thought intrigued her, even unsettled her. She had been trained to assume superiority, yet here was evidence challenging everything she had learned. After touring the facility, they walked together along the observation balcony, overlooking the bustling city below. Aiden leaned on the railing, thoughtful. "Do you ever wonder," he said slowly, "why humans always keep trying even when the odds are against them?" Liara considered the question. "I suppose it is part of your nature. Humans endure hardships that would overwhelm most species. You survive, adapt, and grow stronger." He smiled faintly. "We do, and sometimes we surprise even ourselves." Liara's gaze softened. She felt a strange warmth, an unfamiliar sense of connection. Perhaps it was the recognition of potential, or the acknowledgement that humans were capable of greatness that even Zorathians could not predict. That evening, as the sun set over the city, Liara found herself reflecting on the day's events. She had been sent to marry a human to secure peace, yet she was learning something far more profound. Humans were not weak, as many Zorathians believed. They were resilient, inventive, and remarkably capable. And Aiden, he embodied all of those traits in a way that made her reconsider everything she thought she knew. The next morning, Liara received an urgent message from the Zorathian Council. A delegation from another alien species, the Krellorians, had arrived unexpectedly. They were known for their skepticism toward humans and their tendency to interfere in other species' affairs. Their appearance could complicate the peace process. Aiden read the message and nodded. "We'll handle it," he said simply. "No panic. We just need to meet them, understand their concerns, and show them cooperation works." Liara was amazed. While Zorathians often relied on protocol and authority, Aiden's approach was simple yet effective. Confidence, clarity, and calm reasoning. It worked. When the Krellorian delegation arrived, they were immediately critical. Their leader, a tall, angular being with piercing eyes, demanded to see proof that humans could handle interstellar cooperation. Liara expected tension, perhaps even conflict. But Aiden greeted them warmly, listening attentively to their concerns, then responding with logic, examples, and patience. Hours passed. By the end of the meeting, the Krellorians were visibly impressed. They had not only seen human competence, they had seen human courage, ingenuity, and collaboration firsthand. Liara observed the subtle shift in attitude among her Zorathian colleagues. Even skeptics were beginning to reconsider their assumptions. After the delegation left, Liara and Aiden walked back to the observation deck in silence. She felt a mixture of relief and awe. "You truly are extraordinary, Captain," she said finally. "Not because of strength or power, but because of your mind and your heart." Aiden shook his head, a small smile on his lips. "I'm just human, Princess. We do what we can." Liara studied him, realizing that this humility was part of his strength. He did not boast or seek recognition, yet he inspired trust and respect effortlessly. She felt a sense of admiration that went beyond duty or politics. As night fell, the city lights twinkled beneath them once more. Liara understood now that her mission was more than a marriage for peace. It was an opportunity to witness a human's potential, to learn from it, and perhaps to help her people see that strength could take many forms. Aiden looked at her, sensing her thoughts. "You know," he said softly, "I think humans and Zorathians could do great things together." "But it has to start with trust," Liara nodded. "And it does, Captain, it starts with trust. Perhaps even more than I expected, it starts with you." In that moment, Liara felt something she had never felt before, hope. Not just for the treaty, or for peace, but for the extraordinary possibilities that humans could bring to the galaxy. And for the first time, she wondered if her life with Aiden would be far more remarkable than duty alone could ever promise. The stars above shone brilliantly, reflecting the potential of two species standing at the edge of a new era. And Liara, watching Aiden with a mixture of curiosity and admiration, knew that she had only begun to uncover the secrets behind the smile of the human who would change everything. The space station gleamed under the sunlight reflecting from the nearby planet. Built as a symbol of interstellar cooperation, it floated silently above Earth's atmosphere, its smooth surfaces reflecting both human and Zorathian technological designs. Inside, the halls buzzed with activity. Delegates from across the galaxy were preparing for the historic peace ceremony, the marriage of Princess Liara and Captain Aiden Cross. Liara stood in her ceremonial robe, a radiant display of Zorathian tradition, adorned with glowing threads that shimmered softly with her heartbeat. Her hair was braided in an intricate pattern, symbolizing unity and harmony. She could hear the soft hum of the station's energy cores beneath her feet, a comforting reminder of the power surrounding them. Aiden entered the chamber moments later, wearing a human formal suit tailored for the occasion. He looked at her with a calm confidence, his expression showing respect and anticipation. Unlike most humans, he did not seem overwhelmed by the grandeur of the event. Instead, he radiated focus, as though he understood the importance of the moment and his role within it. "Princess," he said quietly, "you look remarkable." Liara felt a small warmth rise in her chest. "Captain," she replied, "you look ready for whatever this day may bring." Aiden nodded, his eyes scanning the room filled with delegates, officials, and observers. "We'll handle it together, one step at a time." The ceremony began with a series of speeches. Humans spoke first, sharing their vision of cooperation, mutual respect, and shared progress. Liara listened carefully, noting the sincerity in their words. Despite differences in language, culture, and technology, the humans spoke with a sense of determination that resonated deeply with her. When it was the Zorathians' turn, Liara's father, Emperor Thalen, spoke with authority and grace. Today, we witness not just a marriage, but a commitment to understanding, peace, and unity between our species. Princess Liara and Captain Aiden Cross are the bridge to a future where collaboration triumphs over division. Liara took a deep breath. Now it was her turn to speak. Her voice, clear and melodic, echoed throughout the chamber. "Peace is not simply the absence of conflict," she began. "It is the presence of understanding, the willingness to learn from one another, and the courage to face challenges together. Today, Captain Aiden Cross and I take a step toward that understanding. Today, we begin a journey of unity, trust, and hope." Aiden followed her words with his own. "Humans have faced impossible odds for centuries, yet we endure. We learn, we adapt, and we strive for a better future. I am honored to join Princess Liara in this commitment to peace, and to show that through trust and collaboration, our species can achieve remarkable things." The delegates nodded, many visibly impressed. Even the skeptics exchanged uncertain glances. Liara noticed subtle signs of admiration directed toward Aiden. It was not just his words, it was the way he spoke with calm authority, the way he seemed to understand the weight of the occasion without losing his composure. As the formal speeches concluded, the ceremony moved to the exchange of vows. Liara felt her heart race, but not with fear. Instead, it was a steady anticipation, a recognition that this moment was more than duty. It was the beginning of something extraordinary. "I promise," Liara said, her voice steady, "to work alongside you, to respect your strengths, to learn from your wisdom, and to face every challenge with unity and courage." Aiden's eyes met hers. "I promise to honor your guidance, to trust your judgment, to support you in every endeavor, and to face every obstacle together. Not as separate beings, but as partners, as allies, as friends." A soft glow emanated from their ceremonial rings, a traditional Zorathian symbol of bonding energy. As they placed the rings on each other's fingers, the delegates whispered quietly among themselves, feeling the significance of the moment. Then, without warning, alarms blared throughout the station. Red lights flashed across the corridors, and a deep voice echoed. "Warning! Cosmic energy fluctuation detected. Structural stability at risk." Gasps filled the chamber. Delegates looked around in panic. Liara's heart skipped a beat, but she forced herself to remain calm. She turned to Aiden. "What is happening?" she asked, though she suspected it might be related to the energy grids stabilizing the station. Aiden's expression remained focused. "It's a fluctuation in the station's energy field. We need to act fast but stay calm. I've handled worse." Liara followed him through the corridors as he coordinated the station personnel. He moved with quiet authority, giving instructions that combined human intuition with practical problem-solving. Humans and Zorathians worked together seamlessly under his guidance. In the main energy control room, the situation became clearer. The energy grids powering the station were unstable, threatening to disrupt life support and docking systems. Even a minor failure could cause chaos. Aiden approached the central console, analyzing data with rapid precision. "Redirect the auxiliary power lines to the stabilizers," he instructed. "Adjust the energy flow incrementally, not all at once. Monitor the containment fields for fluctuations. Zorathian tech is precise, but humans can anticipate anomalies." Liara watched in amazement as he manipulated the complex systems. His actions were not based on brute force or technology alone. They relied on observation, intuition, and the ability to anticipate how the systems would react. Within moments, the fluctuations began to stabilize. Delegates and personnel alike stared in awe. A human was not only keeping up with Zorathian technology, he was leading the response with skill and calm determination. Once the situation was under control, Liara felt a mixture of relief and admiration. She had seen humans adapt before, but never with such effortless strength. Aiden turned to her, a small smile on his face. "All clear," he said. "We're safe. Everyone did well." Liara nodded, her respect for him deepening. You are remarkable, Captain." "More than I ever imagined." He shook his head. I'm just doing what needs to be done. Humans survive by acting, not by hesitating. The rest of the ceremony continued under a renewed sense of hope and unity. Delegates who had been skeptical now watched with admiration, recognizing the capability and courage of humans firsthand. Liara walked beside Aiden, feeling a growing connection, not just for political reasons, but for the strength he had shown. After the ceremony, the newlyweds were taken to the observation balcony overlooking the planet below. The lights of Earth twinkled like distant stars, reflecting the promise of a new era. "You handled that beautifully," Liara said, her voice soft. "Even under pressure, you remained calm and in control." Aiden looked out at the planet, his gaze steady. "Pressure reveals what we're truly capable of. Humans have always survived in impossible conditions. I guess I just keep doing what I've learned to do." Liara studied him, realizing that this was the kind of strength her people had never anticipated. Not strength of muscle, not of technology, but of mind and spirit combined. It was the type of strength that inspired trust, unity, and courage in others. That evening, after the celebrations, Liara retired to her quarters. She reflected on the day, on the ceremony, and on the challenges they had faced together. She had entered this marriage expecting duty, protocol, and formality. Instead, she had discovered a human capable of extraordinary courage and ingenuity, a human who could be a true partner in every sense. Her thoughts lingered on Aiden. She realized that humans, though often underestimated, had a unique way of approaching life, resilient, adaptive, and fearless in the face of uncertainty, and Aiden embodied these qualities perfectly. As she drifted to sleep, Liara understood something profound. This marriage, arranged for the sake of peace, had become far more than a political alliance. It was a meeting of minds and hearts, a union of strength and understanding that could change the future of both species. And in the quiet of her chambers, Liara smiled, thinking of the human who had shown her that true strength is not always visible, but always felt. The morning light filtered softly through the observation windows of the space station, casting gentle shadows across the polished floor. Princess Liara moved quietly through the corridors, her mind replaying the events of the previous day. The peace ceremony had been successful, but she knew that interstellar diplomacy was never simple. There were still doubts, even among her own people, about humans' ability to handle crises on a galactic scale. Aiden Cross was already awake, examining the station's energy grids in the central control room. He moved with the calm confidence of someone who understood the systems instinctively, yet he was constantly alert, noticing even the smallest anomalies. Liara watched him for a moment, fascinated. Even after everything she had seen, she still found herself surprised by his abilities. "Good morning, Princess," Aiden said without looking up. "I noticed a minor fluctuation in the auxiliary power lines overnight. It's not dangerous, but I want to check it before the next cycle begins." Liara nodded. "You never stop observing, do you?" He glanced at her and smiled faintly. "Observing keeps me prepared. Humans survive by being aware of everything, even the things that seem small." Liara stepped closer, studying the panels. "And yet even small things can reveal great strength. I am beginning to see that in you, Captain. It is different from anything I have seen before." Aiden shrugged, but there was a quiet pride in his eyes. "Strength comes in many forms. Humans are not the strongest physically, nor the fastest mentally, but we adapt. That is our power." Before Liara could respond, an alert sounded from the station's outer sensors. A nearby asteroid belt had shifted due to a minor gravitational anomaly, sending several large rocks on a path that could intersect with the station's orbit. Though the station was protected by advanced shields, any direct collision could cause significant damage to critical systems. Aiden moved immediately, analyzing the trajectory of the asteroids. "We need to act fast. The shields can handle minor impacts, but if multiple rocks hit at once, the force could overwhelm containment. I'll coordinate the deflectors manually." Liara followed him, her pulse quickening. She had witnessed his calm under pressure before, but this was different. The stakes were higher, the challenge greater, yet he did not hesitate. He assessed the situation, calculated multiple possibilities, and began directing the crew with clear, concise instructions. "Divert power to the primary deflector grid," he commanded. "Adjust the trajectory to compensate for the largest rocks. Monitor the secondary shields for strain. Zorathian calculations are precise, but anticipate the anomalies humans cannot see." Liara was astonished. He did not merely follow protocols. He anticipated problems, corrected them before they could escalate, and inspired confidence in every crew member around him. Even the Zorathians who had doubted humans were watching closely, unable to hide their surprise. As the rocks approached, Aiden moved closer to the console, his hands flying over controls with both skill and intuition. He analyzed the data in real time, predicting shifts in energy fields and adjusting the shields accordingly. Containment at 95%, a crew member reported. Primary deflectors holding steady. Aiden nodded, but he did not relax. Keep monitoring. There may be minor fragments. Don't underestimate them. Liara stepped beside him, amazed at his focus. Captain, how do you do this? Your calculations are instinctive, yet accurate beyond reason. He smiled faintly. It's not just calculation. Humans think differently. We combine observation, experience, and intuition. We adapt faster than rigid systems can. That's why I can do this. The asteroid belt loomed closer, but under Aiden's guidance, the station remained stable. Small fragments hit the shields, causing brief flashes of light, but nothing significant. The crew followed his instructions flawlessly, and even the skeptical Zorathians began to whisper among themselves. Remarkable, one of them said quietly. No human should be capable of this, yet he manages perfectly. Hours passed as Aiden coordinated adjustments, gradually moving the asteroids away from the station's path. Liara observed in awe. She had trained her mind to analyze patterns, to anticipate outcomes, yet Aiden seemed to perceive the environment as a whole, predicting movements and reacting instinctively. Finally, the last of the larger rocks was deflected safely. The station was secure. Crew members cheered quietly, not wanting to break protocol, but their relief was palpable. Liara turned to Aiden, her eyes wide with admiration. You have done what no Zorathian could expect, she said softly. Your strength, your mind, it is extraordinary. Aiden shook his head, a small smile on his face. It's what humans do. We survive, we adapt, we find solutions where others see problems. That is all. Liara's gaze lingered on him. It is more than that. You inspire those around you to believe in what they thought impossible. That is a kind of strength no one can measure. Later, after the situation had stabilized, Liara invited Aiden to a quiet observation deck overlooking the planet below. The city lights twinkled in the distance, a reminder of the life that depended on them. She could see the reflection of the stars in his eyes, and for the first time she felt that their partnership was about more than duty. Captain, she began, her voice gentle, do you realize what you have shown today? Humans are not just capable of surviving, they can lead, protect, and inspire. You have revealed something no alien has ever seen before. Aiden looked at her, thoughtful. I didn't do it to impress anyone. I did it because it needed to be done. Humans have a way of finding solutions when others hesitate. It's what we do. Liara smiled faintly, understanding that his humility was part of his strength. Unlike many who relied on authority or power, he relied on intelligence, courage, and heart. She realized that humans had a different kind of resilience, one that could complement even the most advanced technology. Over the next few days, Liara observed Aiden in various situations, coordination meetings, technical inspections, and even casual interactions with the crew. Each time she saw the same pattern. He anticipated problems, adapted quickly, and inspired confidence in everyone around him. Zorathians who had doubted humans began to show respect, some even admiration. One evening, as they walked through the observation deck, Liara asked quietly, Do you ever tire of this? Constant vigilance, constant responsibility? Aiden shrugged. Sometimes, but it's worth it. Humans endure because we care about more than ourselves. We care about others, about survival, about progress. That's what keeps me going. Liara nodded slowly. She had expected duty to be her guide, but now she understood that true leadership required more than protocol. It required heart, courage, and the ability to inspire others. Aiden had all of these in abundance. A sudden alert interrupted their conversation. A minor energy spike in one of the secondary reactors had been detected. Most Zorathians would have panicked or waited for the automated systems to resolve it. Aiden moved immediately, analyzing the spike, adjusting the output, and stabilizing the reactor with a combination of instinct and logic. Liara watched silently, amazed once again. No alien, no matter how advanced, could have reacted so quickly and effectively. She realized that humans had evolved a different type of strength, a combination of mind, intuition, and resilience that even her people could not fully comprehend. That night, as Liara lay in her quarters, she reflected on what she had witnessed. She had entered this marriage expecting duty, protocol, and ceremony. Instead, she had discovered a human capable of extraordinary courage, ingenuity, and leadership. Aiden's abilities were not merely technical, they were human, instinctive, and inspiring. She understood now that the peace treaty was only the beginning. With humans like Aiden, her people could achieve cooperation, innovation, and exploration beyond what they had imagined. And with him by her side, she felt confident that no challenge, no matter how great, would be insurmountable. As the stars twinkled outside her window, Liara whispered softly to herself, "Perhaps the greatest strength is not in power or technology, but in the courage and heart of those who dare to act." And in the quiet of the space station, with the galaxy stretching infinitely around them, Princess Liara realized that she had found not just a partner in duty, but a human whose strength no alien had ever seen, strength that could change the course of the galaxy itself. The morning light spilled across the observation deck of the space station, casting long shadows over the polished metal floors. Princess Liara and Captain Aiden Cross stood side by side, looking out at the planet below. Earth glimmered like a jewel in the vast blackness of space, its oceans reflecting the sunlight, its cities alive with energy and movement. Today was not just another day, it was the beginning of a new era. The peace treaty they had cemented through their marriage had been more successful than anyone could have imagined. Delegates from across the galaxy had witnessed the humans' capabilities firsthand. They had seen courage, ingenuity, and adaptability in action, and they had begun to understand that humans were not merely a species to tolerate. They were partners, allies, and innovators. Liara turned to Aiden, a soft smile on her face. "Captain, do you realize what we have achieved?" Aiden glanced at her, his expression calm yet filled with quiet pride. "I think I understand, but this is only the beginning. Peace is not a one-time event. It's a process, a commitment to continue working together." Liara nodded. She had seen the truth in his words. The ceremony and the challenges they had faced were only the first steps. True cooperation required trust, effort, and courage, and humans had proven they could provide all three. The day began with a council meeting that included human, Zorathian, and allied delegates. The agenda was ambitious, establishing joint projects for planetary development, interstellar research, and shared defense systems. Many delegates approached the meeting with caution, still unsure of what humans could contribute. Aiden took his place beside Liara at the head of the council. Unlike many of the alien delegates, he did not rely on authority alone. He spoke calmly, listening to concerns, asking questions, and offering solutions that combined human ingenuity with Zorathian precision. Liara watched him carefully, noting how his ideas inspired confidence. When he suggested a collaborative approach to developing sustainable energy systems, even the most skeptical Zorathians nodded in agreement. When he proposed a joint exploration team for nearby star systems, the humans leaned forward with excitement, ready to volunteer. "This is incredible," Liara thought. "He does not merely lead, he inspires." After hours of discussions, the council took a short break. Liara and Aiden walked through the observation corridor, overlooking the docking bays where humans and Zorathians worked side by side. "Do you see that?" Liara asked, pointing. "Humans and Zorathians working together without hesitation, not even a hint of doubt or fear." Aiden smiled faintly. "It's what we are capable of when we trust each other. Strength is not in being the most powerful, it's in adapting, collaborating, and supporting one another." Liara considered his words. She had always thought of strength as something rigid, measurable, and predictable. But Aiden had shown her that true strength was dynamic, flexible, and often invisible until it was needed most. Later that evening, a communication arrived from a neighboring star system. The Virelians, a species known for their cautious nature, had requested a demonstration of human and Zorathian cooperation before they would agree to a formal alliance. Some Zorathians were skeptical, fearing potential embarrassment or failure. Liara, however, turned to Aiden, trusting his judgment. "We will show them what we can do," she said. Aiden nodded, his expression steady. "Then let's make sure they see the truth." The demonstration involved navigating a complex asteroid field, to test cooperative maneuvers between ships of different designs. Humans piloted their vessels with intuitive adjustments, while Zorathians calculated trajectories with precise algorithms. Aiden coordinated the operation, anticipating every movement and adjusting the plans in real time. From the observation platform, Liara watched the ships move in perfect harmony. Small rocks and obstacles appeared unpredictable, yet under Aiden's guidance, the combined fleet adapted flawlessly. The Virelian observers, watching through holographic screens, were visibly impressed. By the end of the demonstration, even the most cautious among them nodded in approval. "That," Liara said softly, "is the moment they will remember, not just the technology but the humans who made it work." Aiden glanced at her. "It's not just humans, it's collaboration. That's the real strength." As the weeks passed, the station became a hub of interstellar cooperation. Humans and Zorathians worked together on research, technology, and exploration. Delegates from other species arrived, eager to participate. Liara observed each interaction with growing pride. She had been sent to secure peace, but she had discovered something far greater. Humans had a unique kind of strength, courage, creativity, and resilience that could change the galaxy. One evening, after a long day of council meetings and technical briefings, Liara invited Aiden to the observation deck. The stars stretched infinitely above them, a silent reminder of the vast possibilities that awaited. "Captain," she began, her voice quiet, "I have seen many remarkable beings in my life, but none have shown me what you have. You have revealed the strength of humans in a way no alien has ever seen." Aiden looked at her, his gaze steady. "I did not do it alone. You have guided me, trusted me, and believed in humans when others doubted. We have done this together." Liara smiled. "Perhaps that is the true lesson. Strength is not about one being alone. It is about partnership, trust, and courage. You have shown me that humans have all of these in abundance." A soft chime interrupted them, signaling an incoming message from the council. A new project had been approved, a joint expedition to a nearby uncharted system. Humans and Zorathians would work side by side, testing new technologies and learning from one another. "This is exciting," Aiden said, his eyes reflecting the starlight. "It is the beginning of something new, something greater than either of our species could achieve alone." Liara nodded, feeling a sense of anticipation she had never known. The marriage that had started as a duty had become a partnership that could change the galaxy. She looked at Aiden and realized that he was not only a capable human, but also a symbol of possibility, the proof that courage, ingenuity, and heart could overcome doubt and inspire greatness. In the following weeks, humans and Zorathians worked together on numerous projects, building sustainable energy stations, designing exploration vessels capable of enduring extreme conditions, and establishing communication networks between distant planets. Everywhere she looked, Liara saw the potential she had always hoped for, now made real by the partnership she shared with Aiden. One afternoon, as they observed a human research team conducting experiments in low-gravity conditions, Liara turned to Aiden. "Do you ever wonder what our galaxy could be like in 100 years if humans and Zorathians continue to work together?" Aiden smiled. "I think about it often. If we maintain trust, respect, and cooperation, there will be no limit to what we can achieve. Our strength is not just in our technology, it is in our willingness to act, to adapt, and to support one another." Liara felt a deep admiration for him, not just as a partner in diplomacy, but as a leader, a problem solver, and an example of human potential. She had entered this marriage for peace, but she had discovered something far greater. Humans had a strength that could inspire entire civilizations. As night fell over the space station, the stars outside seemed brighter than ever. Liara and Aiden stood side by side, looking toward the future. The galaxy was vast, filled with challenges, mysteries, and opportunities, and yet together they felt ready for anything. "Captain," Liara said softly, "this is only the beginning, isn't it?" Aiden looked at her, a gentle smile on his face. "Yes, Princess, the beginning of a new era, for humans, for Zorathians, and for all who are willing to work together." Liara felt a sense of hope and certainty she had never known. This marriage, once a duty, had become a beacon of possibility. She realized that true strength was not measured in power alone, but in courage, intelligence, and the willingness to act for the greater good. And Aiden embodied all of these qualities. The space station hummed quietly around them, alive with the energy of cooperation and innovation. Liara and Aiden stood together, watching the galaxy stretch infinitely before them, knowing that their partnership had already begun to change the course of history. And in that moment, Princess Liara understood that the greatest strength she had ever witnessed was not in technology, not in armies, and not in wealth, but in the courage, ingenuity, and heart of a human being who dared to act. The stars twinkled above, reflecting the endless possibilities ahead. And as humans and Zorathians worked side by side, the galaxy entered a new era, an era of cooperation, discovery, and hope, led by a partnership that no one could have predicted, but that everyone would remember. Princess Liara smiled, taking Aiden's hand. Together they faced the future, ready to build a galaxy where strength came not from domination, but from understanding, trust, and unity. And so, with humans and Zorathians standing together, a new era began, one that promised adventure, innovation, and the boundless potential of two species learning to thrive as one.